Okay, I have a cup of coffee, I have a pen, somebody handed me this piece of paper. That means it is time for what? How can the Oren Klaff Pitch Anything methodology get the meeting in the first place? This is how. 3 things. One is, in your first outreach, which is usually an email, you have to indicate that you have a unicorn, something that is very desirable. Okay, so if you sell plumbing services, you have to indicate, we have the lowest cost, best plumbing service in the region. Simple. Okay. The second thing is, it needs to be short. When you send a long email to somebody you don't know, they immediately discount, and they in their minds they make you low status. And so my notes here, the third thing is, keep it short. If you don't know somebody and you're sending an email to get a meeting or a call, got to be short. I would say 2 sentences maximum, 10 words per sentence. That's 20 words. So hold your intro emails to 20 words, no signature, and end with a question mark. If I'm doing back of the room sales at seminars, what is the most important advice you could give? So I've seen this happen. I've worked with people who've done it. Some people have sold my stuff in the back of the room. Here's what I think. The most important advice I can give is 2 pieces. One is, have a third party give credibility to what you're selling. Because when you're selling from the stage, you set yourself up as an educator, as an expert, as an academic, somebody who really knows what's going on. Then you have to transform yourself into a salesperson, right, to sell from the back of the room. That transition is very palatable and untasteful for the audience, right? So you want somebody to step in once you've completed your presentation, showing people you're an expert, teaching them what you have a third party step in and say, that's amazing, how do I get this stuff? And have them sell you. That will introduce the idea of selling. And the other thing is, if everybody believes they can just have it and everybody can get it, it reduces your chance of selling. So my recommendation is, you say, it's not for everybody, and even if you want to buy it or you do buy it here, I still have to approve you. So a constraint and a third party making the transition from your teaching to your sales efforts. That's what I think. Okay, next. If you had to create a non-business or common scenario where you could practice these pitch anything techniques, what would be the fastest, most effective way of doing it? I would say go to buy something, go to buy a big ticket item, right? And the salesperson will be trying to sell you, and you can get frame control over them because it's a negotiation. I remember I went to Best Buy once to return a very expensive hard drive. They didn't want to return it. And so I said, how can I get control over this guy? So I said, bring me the manager of this store. So they bring out the manager, and I said, listen, either take this hard drive back and give me the money, all right, and stop complaining, or tell me, get out of my store, right? And so he said, well, I wouldn't really tell you. I said, no, I only allow you to do one of those 2 things. Either take it back, give me my money, or tell me to get out of your store and that I'm not welcome here. One of those things. That's the only choices I'm giving you. So, and he said, yeah, of course, I'm giving you your money back. So when you go to buy something, right, is a great time to practice negotiation and pitch anything in a very safe environment. It's when you're selling something that it's not as safe, because you're using up a customer. So use it on when you're buying. All right, so next. Was there anything you left out of the book that you wish you could have put in that could be critical to someone's success? Yes, so to get these skills that we're talking about here, I think a lot of people are in very soft environments. I grew up in a very tough environment with a tough partner. I remember one day I was driving down from Los Angeles to meet our plane so we could go fly to a deal. Plane was wheels up at 7:15. I got stuck in traffic, and at 7:15, I was 5 minutes away. I call him up and I say, hey, Russell, hold the plane. Okay, it's our plane. Hold the plane. I'm 5 minutes away. And he says, I'm sorry, I told you 7:15, wheels up, I'm out of here. So after driving for 3 hours, I'm 5 minutes away. It's our own plane, right? And my partner says, you didn't make the time, I'm out, and he left. I then had to drive back to LA get on a plane, and go to the meeting, and of course arrive late. I grew up in very tough environments, so toughen up mentally, right? Show up to work on time, go to those meetings on time, toughen up. Those are the stuff I left out of the book of just how hard it was learning this stuff. Next question. For someone starting in business, offering a product or service, what is the most critical element of the pitch? The Pitch Anything methodology to master first. So for young people and people who are just getting into this, you have to control status. Young people who are new in business, inherently, they don't know the lingo, they don't know the lexicon of the business, they haven't been in transactions, they don't have a good perspective on everything, and that pushes them into the low status position. You've got to earn status for yourself. The fastest way to get status, you read chapter 3 of Pitch Anything, is to become an expert in something. And even if you sell insurance, become an expert in what happens in disaster relief. I made some notes. Become an expert in the laws that are changing around insurance. Become an expert in something, no matter how small in your industry, that will raise your status if you're just starting out or you're new to that business. Next question. Okay. I'm relaunching what I believe to be the United Nations of Venture Capital and Innovation, having proven the model out in other places, right? Do you find that you ever need to reduce your novelty to look more like a traditional safe sale to win over other groups? So this is exactly right. Maybe I'll go to the whiteboard. When you're coming up with a new idea that you want to sell or a new business concept that you want to sell, let's call that this box. This is the new thing. So yes, it's correct. You're coming up with ideas that are novel, new, interesting, exciting. You know, how many words can we continue to use? That all goes in here, right? So this is when you're describing the idea. This is the idea. New, exciting, novel, thoughtful, out there, out of the box, adventurous, titillating, exuberant, passionate, all that stuff is here. Now, when you want to sell people the economics, and this is where we make the mistake, a lot of people want the economics to sound new, novel, interesting, exciting, exuberant, passionate, because you've already headed down that road. But the sales side of it, right? The ROI. So this is the idea. The ROI, the return on investment, the economics, need to be very familiar. I'll walk you through this again. The idea, novel, new, exciting, interesting, lots of stuff around it. This is the future, what's happening next. Now we talk about what the return is, the risk versus the reward. That needs to be very familiar. You can't make up new business models, you can make up new business models. You can't make up new financial mechanisms, right? How you pitch the economics, the investment structure, the return, how the customer is going to make money, how the investor is going to get yield, that needs to be very familiar. So these are what happens with entrepreneurs is they get so excited about the novelty and the newness of the idea, when they pitch the economics, they also make that feel new. That's not correct. You need to have a dividing line. This stuff is new and interesting. This stuff is old and familiar. That's how you pitch these new ideas. Okay.